Hello people of Earth. Before this video starts, I want to point out I'm doing a Q&A soon, so ask as many questions as you want, and you might get featured in the Q&A. So, moving on. So today I'm going to be talking about journalism, particularly how the media portrays itself. So unless you've been living under a rock for the past year and a half, you've heard the term fake news. Fake news is a term that gets thrown around quite often by both the left and the right. Generally, the left tends to believe it's not a thing, while the right believes it is. I personally think that you have to be pretty ignorant to not realize that there's quite a bit of bias in the news, and some stories that are pretty much fabricated altogether. While the media may not completely fabricate things, they do report on things such as allegations that have no actual evidence, and they claim they're just reporting news when it's something that really, usually when they report on this stuff, there's no actual credibility, but they're giving it artificial credibility by reporting on it. The media has a very guilty until proven innocent mindset, so they'll take an anonymous allegation with no evidence and automatically assume guilt based on that. I don't have a problem with allegations being put in the news if they're actually true, but far too often they're put out too early and it's later discovered that they weren't true, and it ends up ruining people's reputations. And you can't call yourself unbiased if you do something like that. The proper neutral response would be to wait for some evidence before you make a claim that could ruin someone's livelihood. There's also a lot of blatant political bias in the media. Sometimes it's like they're not even trying to hide the fact that they treat liberals and conservatives very differently. There are tons of examples in the media where very similar situations are treated very differently because of the political beliefs of the particular person involved. An example of this would be if you compare Obama's overall approval ratings to George W. Bush's overall approval ratings. Bush's are slightly higher, but Bush did receive more negative attention from the media than Obama did and less positive attention than Obama did. And links to my sources are in the description below. Something else that bothers me about the media is they can pretty much slander someone, and then when it's proven that the person was innocent, they rarely ever apologize at all or even bring up the fact that they were wrong in any way, shape, or form. Also, I don't really understand why Fox News is considered to be very biased because while yes, their debates are very opinionated, whenever they're covering news like, for example, the Las Vegas shooting that happened recently and the 2016 presidential election, I never encountered them injecting opinions in actual news coverage. Whereas whenever I would watch something from CNN or pretty much any other news station, they would constantly be talking about how much they hated Trump while covering news, or talking about gun control while covering the Las Vegas shooting. It was really annoying how they kept preaching their political agenda constantly during live news coverage. So I'm pretty annoyed by the idea that all reporters have integrity or that they're just reporting the facts and they're exposing big bad corporations or the big bad government or whatever, because that's rarely what they're doing. They're usually exaggerating or taking claims that aren't credible, and they're just using it because they want a catchy headline. They want a headline that's going to make people mad and get people buying their newspaper or clicking on their site or whatever. Reporters also seem to have very little accountability. They can misreport facts in a very harmful way, and then no apology is ever made about it. It's often swept under the rug and completely ignored. Now, obviously, not all reporters are like this. But it really annoys me that people tend to act like reporters are just by default amazing people that always do what's right, when in reality a lot of the reporters that get attention are completely self-serving. And yet the media wants to uphold this fallacy that they're unbiased and that they're interested in bringing out the truth, when in reality all they're interested in is ratings, and in manipulating people to think how they do. I don't have a problem with the media voicing their opinion. Heck, I'm voicing my opinion right here. What I have a problem with is them voicing their opinion and then claiming it's objective journalism. So, in conclusion, I do think fake news is real and it's far too prevalent. I think alternative news sites both offer a solution to this problem, but also open the floodgates for this problem to become more prevalent. Overall, though, I'd rather have more news options than less, so I'm all for alternative news, as long as it's accurate. So, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys next time.